Welcome to the Afro Latina Show. I am your host, Alicia Anabel Santos, La Diosa Dominicana, La Santera, coming to you live from JFK after missing my flight, trying to get to my brother, who I haven't seen in 7 years. And so this is an amazing reunion, but life happens, shit happens. But I didn't forget the salami. I didn't forget the queso. I didn't forget the presidente. And so we ready. We ready to have a Star Wars reunion, watching TV kind of week in the Arizonas. And so welcome to episode 115, Still Standing. Today's a wonderful day for me to be traveling as it is my mother's birthday. Feliz cumpleaños, mi vieja hermosa, bella, cuánto te amo. And today this show is dedicated to my mom because earlier an Elton John song came on here at the airport. I'm still standing. I'm still standing better than I ever did. And it was like, whoa, that made me think of my mom and how she is still standing after everything that she's been through and gone through her entire life, being born in the Dominican Republic in the 40s, living through the times of Trujillo, coming to the United States, living the immigrant experience and raising children in this country that has not been always easy. And so today I just wanted to talk about that, like all the ways that we're still standing as, women of color and the things that I've learned from my mother. So that's what today's show is about, Lo que aprendí de mi madre. So I have it listed as 5 main things, but there are many things. 1, tú sí puedes, yo creo en ti. 2, la envidia es algo fea, nunca celas a nadie. 3, confidence, never to be confused with arrogance. 4, elegance and grace. And 5, love. So, si tú puedes, si tú puedes, yo creo en ti. Yes, you can. I believe in you. I don't think that there's anything my mother never said to me I couldn't do. I could have a lot of feelings about what I believe my mother may or may not have given me as a young girl, as a teenager, a woman entering her womanhood. But what she did give me was the sense that I could dream any dream for myself and that she would always, siempre me iba a apoyar. And sometimes she even supported bad decisions that I made, But there isn't a moment that she has not believed in me or prayed for me. And so this idea of having those people who believe in you, who believe for you that you can achieve and attain, even when there are, people around you who are telling you that you can't. And so she has been this wonderful example of that. Si tú puedes, yes, you can, and so how can I use that today? How can we use that today? I think it's really connecting with the people. 11:11, y'all, make a wish. Oof, let me make my wish. So, si tú puedes, like having these people in your life who truly believe in you is important, People who tell you that, you can achieve it. I only want to be surrounded by that because there is so much negativity in the world, and my mother is truly a positive person. 2, la envidia. La envidia es algo feo. Number 2 is about envy and how ugly envy and jealousy can be. One of the things my mother taught me was to never envy or be jealous of anyone, of what anyone had. That everything that I needed, I had. I think, sorry for the background noise, but this lesson that my mother taught me about envy was that I didn't need to want what other people have because I already was born with things that were incredibly special about me. Like she was teaching me very early on that I walked with a thing that would be envied. by people because it was something that was innate. And my father always tells me the same story about how he fell in love with her. She's 5 years older than him, so you can imagine this like 12-year-old, 13-year-old boy in love with this 18, 19-year-old young woman who is fabulous with a banging body, black woman walking down the mean streets of the Dominican Republic in Santo Domingo in the 60s, looking fierce, hair done, dress on point, pearls, looking like just an elegant woman. And he said she would walk down the street and nobody could tell her anything, that she just had this, and that people envied that. They didn't like that about her. And that, for me, is something that I want to meditate on. I not today, because it's my mother's birthday and I'm celebrating her, but I do want to write an essay about this idea of hating people and not liking people for the strengths that they possess. My mother never had to envy anyone because everything that she had, she was born with. And so was I, and so was my daughter, and so were my sisters. And so I'm grateful that my mother passed that on, because I don't envy anyone. I'm not jealous of anyone. And I understand that I have no competition. And that's thanks to my mom. Confidence, and never to confuse it with arrogance. It's interesting because I think if you saw my mother walking down the street looking like the black, Princess Diana, you would think, oh, she's so full of herself. She has this air about her. It's called confidence. It's called a woman who is sure in herself, who moves in the world and nobody could tell her anything, even though she has a very thick accent, even though her voice is very kind of hoarse and sounds very masculine. She's a very firm, strong, confident woman. And some people confuse that, but that's okay, because that confidence is the thing that got her so many achievements. Like, who could say, what immigrant can say that when they arrived to this country, they owned 3 houses at the same time? Not many. My mom did, though. My mom did. And so she's this wonderful example of there's nothing I can't do, and that I should never forget where I come from and what I possess, and when I fall and when I forget and when I allow myself to be filled with doubt, I can connect to her confidence and remember, what it is she's had to deal with coming to this country, the racial slurs, the being called a spick, an immigrant, being made fun of because of her accent. Who knows the things that people have said about her, but none of that matters, because she never allowed that to destroy her. And she passed that on to all of us, elegance and grace. I spoke a little bit about my fierce mom walking the streets of Santo Domingo. Grace. One of the things that my mother taught me back in the days when she really wanted me to be a model was posture. She taught me how to walk elegantly like a lady. She all of my very feminine, very sensual traits are her. The way I cross my legs, the way I move my hands. That's thanks to her. My mother has this elegance and this grace that is regal. And so, yeah, I want to celebrate that today, that fierceness that I possess comes from her. And then the last thing is this being all love all the time, My mother has given so much to so many selflessly. She calls people. She's there for people. She's brought people to this country. She's helped people in need. She's fed people in need. She's opened the doors of our home to many people to come and live. She has been there for so many people. And all of this is out of love. My mother loves life. She loves laughter. She loves her children, her family, her husband, strangers. My mother is the most loving person. I think one of the moments of my life that I love the most about my mother is when I was a teenager. I didn't appreciate it then, but as I grow older and I see my mother aging, she worked as a nurse's aide and at at a home for the elderly. And my mother used to work 6 days a week, very long shifts, wearing her white uniform, looking like a fierce nurse from back in DR. And she would care for them and clean them and bathe them and feed them and read to them and sing to them and dance with them and bring them joy and bring them light. My mother is light. My mother is so much light. She's vibrant, luminous, amazing. My mother's giving spirit is what I love the most about her, And so I've always said, I need to be successful as a writer because there's so much I want to give her. I want to make sure that she doesn't want for anything ever, And so I'm working hard on that right now, yo. I'm about to get the glow up from the flow up. And so, yeah, my mother will never be in a home as long as I am able-bodied and I can move and get shit done. I have every intention of working it. And so I'm still standing. And so why I named the diary today Still Standing is that even though there have been moments in my mother's life that have attempted to knock her down, she's still standing. She's still standing strong. My mom is in her 70s. My mom is raising grandchildren, and she's still moving. She doesn't move as fast as she used to, but she's still quick with it. She's the keeper now of our family history. And so I'm celebrating the fact that everything that I have learned about getting up when I fall is inherited from her. And so on my mother's birthday, my mother who was born a twin, on my mother's birthday, on my tia Anita's birthday, I pray for my mother's health and long life. I pray for my aunt, God rest her soul, tia Anita. May you always walk with my mother and be light for her. And I pray for all the twins of the world today. May you always stay connected to your soulmate, to your true soulmate, right? And I just pray that my mother has a beautiful birthday and that my mother's around forever and ever and ever, or as long as God can keep her here with me. And yeah, let's meditate on how we can still stand even when shit gets rough. Close your eyes. Put your hand where you need them. And let's take some deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep breathing calmly. I want you to think about a moment where you were knocked down, where you believed you could just not get up. What was that moment? A hard moment that just knocked you on your ass. What did it look like? What did it feel like? What was it that happened? Now, I want you to think about how you got up, what pulled you out of it. How did you get back up and stand again? How can you remind yourself how to do it again? What did you tap into? What traits, what beliefs about yourself keep you standing? What are the good things about you, your strengths, your beauty? And when you're ready, come out of meditation. Ooh, you're a little lightheaded. I will remember to connect to my mother. I will remember how even in her darkest hours, she got up. And in my darkest hours, I can do the same. Just get up and keep moving and believe, right? Faith. That's one of the greatest things she gave me. Faith. Today, I'm just calling for all of us to believe just a little bit. Believe in ourselves, believe in our abilities and our gifts. Believe that we can get up, that we can get out of this, that we can pull ourselves out, that we can save ourselves. And so on my mother's birthday, I'm sharing some of her with you. May you be anyone, because all that you need you already possess. May you walk with confidence, and don't worry if people think it's arrogant. Keep walking tall. Stand in elegance and grace, and always, always be love. My intention for today is to be patient and do some writing as I wait for this next flight, and know that I will see my brother soon. I'm wishing you all the most amazing day. Peace.